Hey guys, welcome back. It's Saturday, or whatever day you're watching this. Got something cool. Winchester Model 37A, chambered in 20 gauge. These were used in
Diggity too. We're men and boys were too.
Receiver's got a pile of rust on it, and the stock's made of birch. So we're gonna do a thing. You ready? I'm ready. Let's do a thing. I haven't seen all too many videos on these where they get taken apart down to the smallest piece, so it's really not that difficult. These are really simple. It's a single shot, break action. First thing you want to do, get your fore end off. We'll move on to that later. Then you got to get your barrel out, break it open. Yeah, oh, there we go. First thing we're going to start with is the bear. We're going to go ahead, get the stock off of this, and then we're going to start punching out these pins. There's 3 pins. The screw holds a firing pin. This is just for the lockup here on the barrel. The lower one's for your hammer. The upper one is for your brake action. Also 1 screw here on the trigger guard. We'll go ahead and get those punched out. I'll show you the orientation of all of them, so if you need to take it apart, you'll know how to do the thing. 2 things that you can't blue on this gun. The trigger guard is anodized aluminum, as is the action brake. So let's start somewhere. What holds this stock on is a 7/16 bolt. Be really careful with these. They've got fingers that run around the action, prone to being oil soaked and breaking. So we got the receiver. It looks like somebody's already had this one apart before. You got a couple marks on your pins here. One thing to note, pins always push out to the right. And the way that you can see that, visually see it, you'll see a knurling on the pins here. You don't want to drive them out this way because then you'll wipe the receiver out or wipe the pins out. So always push out to the right. We'll start with the main one. Beautiful. You can see here we've got a mainspring and then you've got your action brake springs. This mainspring is a bear. You can see here there's a hole in the bottom of the mainspring. When you cock it, it compresses steel rod inside of here and it lines up a hole inside of that mainspring. This is really important for disassembly and reassembly. We're going to just get this out and set it off to the side. There we go. So as you can see, just a paper clip is enough. Then you take your hammer, run it forward, mainspring falls right out. Keep that paper clip in unless you want to have a bad day, okay? These 2 springs aren't under nearly as much pressure, so you can go ahead and just pry them out. They've got recesses in the back of the receiver here that they run through. Each one has a corresponding hole. Just when you go to reassemble, make sure that you get them lined up where they need to go. Get your hand around the spring, and you go to pry out. Second one is easiest with a pair of pliers. Like I said, not a whole lot of spring pressure under that. Push it back, peel it out. So now everything's just, you know what I'm saying? We've got to drive these 2 pins out. Like I said, the bottom pin is for the hammer. The top pin is for your action lock. There you go. Hammer falls right out. You've got your action disconnect. We'll pull out. It's got its own pin on it. It holds it together. Sharp end faces towards the front of the action here. It's what sits down in here. This will pull right up out. Like that. Can't do anything with it. There's a spring on the bottom of the trigger that looks like this. One sits against the trigger, one sits against the bottom of the receiver, and it gets squeezed like this. Okay? Whenever I take it out, I always set the spring in its orientation with the pin running through it. Push it down out through. That's fine. Here's your spring. Notice how there's a long end and a short end. Long end goes up towards the receiver. The short end goes towards the trigger. Trigger guard, single Phillips head screw on the bottom side. Then it just, see? Simple enough. Last thing I got to do, we got to take the lock mechanism off the fore end. 2 screws in the front, 1 screw in the rear, 2 holding the plate on. Now, I'm not going to be taking apart the ejector mechanism. I'll link a video in the description if you want to go that far with it, but they're super simple. Okay, we can blue over top of this. It's not going to hurt it at all. We're not going to be getting into any kind of temperatures that would hurt the spring inside of here. So now we're going to go over to the stripping tank, get all the bluing stripped off of this, and we're going to start getting the steel prepped. We'll go ahead and get this stripped. Maybe we'll drop it in some acetone tonight. Who knows? So just I want to refinish this stock. It is a Birch, you know? Look at the grain. What I usually do with these is I soak them in acetone, and then I take a little bit of a brush to it, you know, a little bit of a, like this, just to get the finish out of there. Maybe some sandpaper. Give them some things acetone's good for. Fastest way to lose 5 hours of your life is just standing over something for too long. It's already turning kills. Look at that. Gone, baby. So I'm gonna go get that sitting over by the window because I don't know if you can tell that's a coal furnace, and I don't feel like burning the place down tonight. Normally, you would want to, you know, flip it every 6 hours just so then you can get some even distribution of your acetone. I'm gonna do the right thing and just, you know, heat, maybe a little bit of, you know, yep. Good enough. We're gonna go head over. We're gonna get this action stripped out of here. I don't know if you can tell, but she is ready to be rinsed, and we're gonna go ahead and rinse them off in some water. That way we can start sanding it. You don't know if you're a man until you got vinegar on your hands. Just saying. Ta-da. Receiver. Hammer. Let's get to sanding. .320 grit on this receiver. Gonna want to be really careful. Got some engraving here, and it does not look very deep at all. So we're gonna go ahead and just be, you know, real gentle. Eat. Good enough for the girls we date. So now we're gonna go ahead and sand that stock. We're not gonna go too crazy with it. It's not gonna be a high gloss finish, nothing like that. We're gonna go with 320 grit, and then we'll get some stain on it real fast. How's 400 sound? That's what we're gonna do instead. I've decided. So now we'll move on to this. Alrighty, I'm pretty happy with that. So now let's get them hung, and we're gonna apply our first coat of stain, and then we're gonna call it a night. As of right now, the barrel is polished to about 2000 grit. We're gonna go with a high gloss finish on this. This is gonna be the 4th bluing video. So instead of just running through all of the same procedures that we normally would, where I explain it to you exactly how to do it, you can go ahead and check right up here. And I'm gonna leave a bubble to another video. We're just gonna get the work done because I don't wanna bore you, and we gotta get it done. So we've got our workbench here. All I wanna do is just get these degreased. We're only bluing 3 things on this gun. We're gonna blue the barrel, we're gonna blue the hammer, and we're gonna go ahead and blue this receiver. Got myself a piece of shorts. I'm just gonna What's really nice about this is it's got a carry handle. Last piece is the hammer. This has some really deep machining grooves in it, and I really didn't want to remove too much mass from it, just being that it is the hammer. It'll be fine the way it is. I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna, while I work on the stock, we're gonna let that sit and cook a little bit, and then we're gonna kill the heat and let it get nice and cold, if you know what I mean. Beautiful. The particular flavor that's going to go on this gun stock is Varathane Black Cherry. We're just going to go raw on it. We're going to go raw black cherry. See what happens. Not even gonna lie, it's pretty purple. Actually, that's a really cool color. Look at that. This stuff really soaks up this stain. It's crazy. Oh! It's been 4 weeks since I've recorded last, and it's time to get a shotgun done. Today's gonna be the day. I know the last time that I filmed, I had just stained a stock. Tonight, we're gonna get the old gluing tank all fired up, and we're gonna go ahead and get those dropped in it, or get it converted and soaking in some kerosene. We might even go ahead and get this stock and the fore end, which is right, get the fore end covered in some oil. I think we're gonna go with only like 4 or 5 coats on this one. Not going too crazy. I just want a satin finish, something that's going to protect it with true oil. Usually about 3 coats is enough. Let's go ahead, get these ripped out, get them degreased before I throw them in the conversion tank. That is not a necessary step. It's just something that I'm doing out of precaution because of how many rust cycles is on this. It's got about 3 weeks worth of rust cycles on it, and it's a lot. We're going to go for something really dark with it. So anyway, let's do the thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is the best part of slow rust bluing, by far. This makes you feel like you're a magician. Numero uno. Numero dos. The receiver. Look how dark that is. Oh, baby. Yeah, here. Look at that barrel. Oh, my. Oh, mama. Now what we're gonna do while that's boiling, we're gonna let it boil for about 45 minutes. That gives me some time to start throwing some oil on the stock. But, oh wait, real quick, see? Oh, baby. Oh, hi, how you doing? Oddly enough, we're actually gonna apply with steel wool. That'll be fun. Hardest thing about true oil, get the lid off. Oh. There we go. We're good. We're good. Just get it all saturated in there. Nice. We're probably gonna just do 2 more coats, just like this, just so you get an idea. You rub it on with some steel wool, just so it can help penetrate into the pores of the wood a little bit, and then, hand rubbing. Next one's gonna be the fore end. It's there. Same deal. Hopefully it livens this one up just like it did the other one. I'm actually really pleased with just a single coat, but we're going to go ahead and hit it with a couple more just so then it protects it. And now we should be getting pretty close to the old bluing tank, so let's go take a peek at that real quick. We'll get these hung and then we'll go check. The water hath gone brown, but the guns have gone black. As is tradition, I'm going to take a little bit of a peek-see. Excuse me, pardon me. Oh, baby, look at that. This is gonna be something else entirely. I'm just telling you that right now. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty. This is gonna turn out really nice, I've decided. What are you? After your final boil, you must card. So we're just gonna take some 4/0 steel wool. You're just gonna good enough for the girls we date. It does, yeah. It's still really freaking hot, but we're just gonna. Oh, it's even darker underneath. Now, moment of truth. Looks beautiful. Let's get it dipped in some oil just to get the final finish. And for the record, this is the best part. God dang. I've got kerosene running down my arms for you. So now, it's about 10 after 9. I'm gonna let it soak in kerosene for a whole day, 24 hours, and then we'll get to putting it back together. Ciao. Okay, so the day has finally come. Hello, son. The day's finally come. We're gonna get this thing put back together. Now, this is a high polish finish. I'm not gonna know exactly how it's gonna look until I get some oil on it. I'm really sorry this is taking so long, guys. I feel really bad. Normally, I crank this stuff out, but it's just been crazy lately. Life's been crazy. So, we're gonna get that put back together, and then maybe we'll do some shooting at the end of the video, if you know what I mean. Be pretty freaking awesome. I've got about 20 rounds. We're just gonna crank it out. Make sure she don't, explode on me. So, anyway, let's do this thing. Beautiful. Alrighty. Now we've got to get our trigger guard on, which is just super simple. And one tiny little itty bitty baby screw. Okay, there we have that, and secretly, it's done. Don't tell anybody. But, just like that, and then the final piece, here we go. Just like that. There it is. Finally got her all done, and I think there's gonna be just enough daylight outside that we can go over to the range and shoot it. But I'm telling you what, man, this thing is freaking awesome. Look at this. Went with a sheen stock on this one, only about 4 coats of True Oil, and it just turned out awesome. One thing that I try to do with the sheen stock is while the finish is tacking, while it's getting tacky, I take a dry rag and rub it up and down, just lightly. And that gives you a nice smoked appearance. And then once you're done with that, you just take it over to a sink after you let it cure. Take it over to a sink, get some water on it, and just hand rub it. And then it leaves you with this finish, which is just very cool. Very cool finish. But okay, let's go to the range real fast. Running out of time. Let's go. Okay, so we made it down here to the range. I don't know if you can tell. This is where we like to test fire our shotguns, 20 gauge and such. So let's see if it explodes. I don't think it will, but it might. It's Friday night, and it's time to get this gun done. It's been way too long. So, one in the chamber. Let's see what it does. Ready? Beautiful. Does it eject? Oh. Oh, hello. Does it eject? Let's see what we got here. How many can we go for? Ready? Oh, one stuck in the chamber again. No. Well, anyway, guys, just kidding. We're going to get this out real quick. We just have to massage it. Jeez, that's painful. Let's see how many more we got left. 3 more. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it to cycle all of them. The chamber needs cleaned out a little bit, and the ejector needs lubed. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. Let's see if we can get another one off here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm feeling pretty hot for 20 gauge. It's because they're high brass. Hello. All right, one last one. What do you say, huh? Well, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I'm sorry that this video was so choppy. Like I said, I've been filming it over the course of about a month, any chance that I got to get into this thing. But I hope you enjoyed watching. This is a Winchester Model 37A, and it's a cool little 20 gauge. What can I say? I'm really happy with how it turned out. It really has a cool look to it now. A nice rust blue job with a satin finish on that stock. So anyway, if you like watching, drop down below, give me a like, give me a dislike if you didn't like it, and subscribe. I'm going to be posting more videos like this a lot more often than I am right now. The next one that I'm going to be coming out with is a Romanian M44 carbine. It's going to be a cool video. Thing was painted and the stock was painted. So we're going to go ahead, use some Danish scrapers, scrape that stock off, and maybe just get her cleaned up and get her all back together. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. You have a nice day.